Hey gang, Brian here. If you're coming to this episode from a podcast called Bring Me the Axe, I'd like to assure you that you're in the right place. Dave and I decided that before we got too deep into this podcast business, we changed the name of the show to something a little more original. As it happens, there's like 6 podcasts called The Brothers Grimm. It's hard enough already to stand out amongst all the other horror podcasts. Why make it harder on ourselves by confusing ourselves with other shows? From now on, we're the Bring Me the Axe Horror Pod. And if you want to connect with us on other platforms, you can find us simply by Googling Bring Me the Axe Horror Podcasts. We're everywhere. And now, on with the show.
Listening to the Brothers Grimm podcast, presented by the Cinema Suicide Film Society on Substack. I'm Brian White, editor-in-chief of Cinema Suicide. I'm joined by my co-host and actual brother, Dave White. Dave, how you doing?
Hey!
Oh, shit. Do you have any delightful novelty beers this time?
Well, let's see what we got here. This is a...
Pickle beer did not go well last time.
No. This is the Rose Hill. It is a barn beer from... Plan B in Hudson Valley, New York.
Oh, did you get that while you were in Hudson Valley, New York?
I did get this in Hudson Valley, New York. I went there for beer, and I came back with beer.
Mission accomplished. Yeah. So we practically grew up in neighborhood video stores. Steady diet of utter garbage that those shops provided us with continues unabated to this day. There's no one else I enjoy chopping it up with more about trashy movies than Dave. Before we get into it, here's a little housekeeping. If you want to keep up with us between episodes, you can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at GrimmBrosPod. And we have full episode transcripts on our website, brothersgrimpodcast.show. You can also contact us directly at grimmbrospod@gmail.com with any questions, comments, or suggestions. Do let us know if there's a movie that you love and would like to hear us give it the business. Lastly, if you like what you hear, you can subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. And you'd be doing us a favor by leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. I just want to get that all out of the way right at the top of the show.
Yep. And if you don't like what you hear, you wouldn't be the first person.
Do you know what I have to say? You don't like what you hear? Suck it. That's what I say.
Yep. I have opinions, and that's a thing about me.
All right, so a warning before we get rolling. We're going to talk about this movie from beginning to end, so spoilers to follow. You've had a million years to watch this one. So let me give you a taste. We're going to give you a little taste here.
At Lanier College, they have the finest security, the best teacher-student relations, no fraternity hazing, strictly enforced curfews.
What was that?
And a killer. He's come back. Final exam.
When are you going to realize that the whole world isn't made of psychopaths?
There's a murderer around campus killing people.
Some may pass the test.
Lisa!
God help the rest.
Courtney! It's me, Radish! Let me in! Courtney!
Final exam. He's come back.
Final exam. He's come back.
He's come
back.
What
There's
the fuck
a lot of shit going on in that trailer, and I got questions. First of all, It sounds...
Whoever made that trailer has not seen
They've not seen the movie, clearly. Also, are they trying to sell it like it's a comedy?
I have a thing about
Because I'm going to say, the first, 15 seconds of that is, almost like they're trying to sell us student bodies. Like, hey, look at all this wacky shit that happens.
Okay, here's my thing about that. I'm pretty sure this movie is trying to walk a line between two kind of newly emerging genres, which is the sexy college comedy
Yep.
and the slasher.
Yeah.
and I will give it credit. So first of all, it's neither of those things.
Yeah, I've got some
It fails.
I've got some
Fails
notes
at both.
on that because it has a fundamental misunderstanding of what makes either of those sort of niches work, and we'll cover that adequately.
But I will say that it is adequate. Well, it's admirable in the fact that this is 1981, and so they're really trying. They're doing a thing that has not yet been done a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
I'll
and
give
that's
it that.
that's a baseline. Like that's at best.
I'll give it that because it does seem like it's like Prom Night's the movie that really kind of kicks off the like school slasher crossover, but that movie isn't trying to ride the line. It just that Prom Night is what it is. Like this is very clearly.
I almost chose Prom Night because I love that.
Yep. So yeah. Oh God, we're gonna get into it because this was a real challenging one to do. So some facts about it. We're back in 1981. So this was made. I don't know when it was released, but like this was the same year that Porky's came out. And Porky's is really the movie that even though Animal House is the kind of flagship college comedy, that does a lot of the sort of like teen sex tropes that just kind of got copied a million times. Porky's is the one that really kind of put the flag on the map. Bob Clark, who
Hell yeah.
that guy is just like one of the most nameless directors, and he's made so many fucking awesome movies.
The dude made my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, which I believe we're doing later this year.
Hell yes, we are.
But don't say what it is. Let's tease them. Keep that one a secret. So
It's Baby Geniuses, which I'm not joking. Bob Clark did in fact make that movie.
Yep. So some other movies released that year: Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, Cannibal Ferox.
That is a television film.
Is it?
Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, yeah.
Oh no shit! I had no idea because I've only ever known that one from just like seeing the really awesome box on the video store shelf, you know. So Cannibal Ferox also that year, Umberto Lenzi.
Definitely not a television film.
Nope. That is one of the roughest cannibal movies. I actually think that one's a little more hardcore than Cannibal Holocaust. Also, The Monster Club, Evil Speak, Bloody Moon, the Jesus Franco movie.
Are you making these up?
No, man, these are real movies. You've seen The Monster Club.
I have seen The Monster Club. It's not good.
You've seen Evil Speak. I love The Monster Club, by the way. You've seen Evil Speak.
Even Vincent Price can't save that.
I know. John Carradine, another Grimm Bros favorite, is in that movie.
All right.
You've seen Evil Speak. It's the haunted Satan computer one with Clint Howard.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Bloody Moon is Jess Franco's really, really weird attempt to kind of remake Halloween from Spain. And it also, man, he does not understand the concept of the final girl whatsoever. Lastly, Graduation Day. So cast and crew is going to be real anemic. Usually I have a lot to say about this sort of stuff.
Here's a movie made by and starring people you've never heard
That's
of.
the thing. So this, I don't know how you say his last name. It's Jimmy. It's either Houston or Huston.
I think it's Houston.
He hasn't done anything really worth talking about. I think he directed like 6 films in total. He directed something called SIBO, which sounds like a Troy McClure movie. And his most notable credit is a writing credit on the buddy cop flick Running Scared. That's the Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines one. It's a much.
Wait, didn't he direct My Best Friend is a Vampire?
I don't think so. Or maybe he did, and I don't know.
I think he did.
But Running Scared.
Which is a weird gay allegory.
Well,
It is.
well, again, I mean, there's a little bit of that in here too. So I guess it's just sort of a running thing. The cast, the lead is a woman named Cecile Baghdadi, who plays the world's most forgettable final girl, Courtney, and Joel Rice, who plays Radish, who is the only character in the movie worth talking about, and I have a feeling we're going to talk about him a lot. His performance in this movie is fucking mesmerizing. He only acted in a few pictures that nobody has seen. He has a credit as an extra in Christine. But he very quickly bailed on acting in the 80s, and he ended up producing Hallmark Pictures after a brief stint as a social worker. And he's still working. He's still making these movies. Like, if you're into that whole scene, I am not. I don't understand the appeal of them.
Oh, I am.
So you have probably seen at some point Joel S. Rice Productions.
Oh, yeah.
Also, like a weird note, usually when they roll out these movies and they kick off the title sequence and the credits, there's a lot of like starring so-and-so and so-and-so and also so-and-so featuring so-and-so introducing so-and-so. This movie has 2 screen credits, and they're the 2 people that I just mentioned.
And they are both introducing.
Yep. I believe these are both of their first movies. Or either that or both of them had done like extras on TV or something. But this was their first real sort of like major thing. So this movie, let's see, $363,000 was wasted on the making of this movie, but it did turn a profit, about $1 million. And I'm sure that like collectors have picked up basically everything that's been released ever since then. Like, this is one of those movies that to me kind of says, if like Scream Factory is releasing these sorts of things, they're coming out on like Blu-ray and like 4K and shit like that. Like, we are truly scraping the bottom of the barrel in terms of like what's left to be discovered and released.
I think this just has a 1080.
Really?
So there's no 4K.
Okay.
Even Vinegar Syndrome won't invest in the
They'll release anything.
They will. They really will.
Yeah. And so also,
God bless them.
they're doing the Lord's work with their pornography and horror movies.
That's yep.
And okay, so proving that no film at the time was beyond novelization, there is a Final Exam novel.
Fuck yes.
I know that this is like, this must have landed in that like golden era where just like they could find an author to novelize anything. I gotta find it. Because apparently there's a whole lot, like the author like looked at the script and was like, this is fucking bullshit, and like filled in a lot of blanks. This movie currently holds a 4 skull rating on Shudder, which is fucking inexplicable to me.
Wait, out of 5?
Out of 5. And so I after I watched it the first time, I added my own review, which is just one sentence demanding that everybody giving it 5 skulls explain themselves.
I feel like that's when you go on like the PlayStation or Xbox store and you see anything that's less than 4, and it's like, wow, this must really suck.
Yeah. So overall, this movie's fucking terrible. It really, if you watch it, this is like real, like for completists only territory that we're in. It's like a lot of the C tier cash-ins at the time, where casts a really wide net. It's kind of what we were talking about just a few minutes ago, where we're saying it's trying to exploit several popular genres at the time. So besides cashing in on the slasher trend, it's also cashing in on Porky's and the sex comedies that were kind of emerging at the same time. And except that where those all seem to come out, where all of these kind of proper, much more well-known, like Screwballs and, you know, like that sort of thing, this one was released the same year, and I think it might have actually been released earlier than Porky's was, because that movie, I looked that one up just when I was kind of writing this note. Porky's came out really late in 1981. But really, Animal House is the very obvious comparison, because there's even a character. I mean, all of these movies needed a Bluto, but there's a character in this one who's their Bluto. The thing that really kind of, where it really fails is it doesn't really get any of the slasher tropes right. It doesn't get any of the sex comedy parts right. It's just 90 minutes of filler. I think it comes in almost at 90 minutes on the dot, which seems very formulaic to me.
Yeah, it is barely a movie.
It's just scenes strung together, loosely forming the plot of a movie. And as we go through them, like we're about to do, you're going to see this movie is just a disaster. So I figured I'd throw this out before we really get into it. Here's a few horror movies with the word final in the title that you should probably watch instead. Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter, Final Destination, and The Final Terror. Which is great. Have you ever seen The Final Terror?
Space movie?
No. The Final Terror is the one that's got like... it's the one where a bunch of like forestry service people get like stuck.
Oh, yep.
stuck in the forest. It's got like Joe Pantoliano in it.
Yep.
Daryl Hannah's in it.
And it's like just turns out at the end it's just like some random psycho who's like was a little kid at one point.
No, I don't know what you're thinking of, but this is the one where they're constantly on Joe Pantoliano's character's ass because he's a real hard ass and a piece of shit. And it turns out that his mother is like like this camouflage survivalist maniac who like just stalks the forest, and she's like trying to kill him. Has a real low body count, but it is super fucking tense. Like it is.
I think it must have come out around the same time, Just Before Dawn came out, because it's very similar.
I think it was released at the time that Just Before Dawn came out, because the movie was made in 81 but wasn't released until 83.
Because Just Before Dawn has, if you've never seen it, it has the greatest ending of any horror movie ever made.
I've not actually seen it, so I'm gonna have to put that one on my list.
I'm not gonna ruin it, because holy shit, the ending of that movie is nuts.
I was say, because the Final Terrors ending is like one of the only bad things I can say about it. It's a bit of a dud, but yeah, it's super super good. It's on Shudder. Final Exam's also on Shudder. If you listen to this and you feel like watching it. But let's get into it. Let's just jump in. So the movie starts out, as so many slasher movies do. We got to sort of plant a flag that this is a slasher movie, and it's not at Lanier College, which is where this is shot, where the movie takes place. It's at March College, which is, I don't know, it's a campus nearby, I guess.
They're in the South, right?
This was made in North Carolina and South Carolina.
It is southern as fuck.
It is, and there's a couple of characters who are just like, they must have been local actors or something. But yeah, so two kids in the car making out. The guy is very insistent, and the girl is very apprehensive. And he's like all over her, and she pulls away, and she's like, "No." And for me, this is a very forward-thinking movie, because she says something like, he's like, "What's the problem, baby?" And she's like, "I don't have to have a reason." And I'm like, fuck yeah, man. No means no. Drive that poor girl home, because this is bullshit. But, again, they got to kill these two, so he kind of keeps on her. And
she says, "I love you."
Oh, but before that, she's like, get off of me. I like, what if I want to watch the ducks swim? And he says the most fucking insane thing. He says, "Ducks don't swim at night. Their headlights short circuit in the water."
What?
Is that a fucking joke that I don't get or something? Like, what is that? Did he improv that? Like, is this ad-libbing? Because
I think this whole movie is ad-libbing, but yes.
Yeah, I had to point that out, because what the fuck? But like, again, as we're gonna find out, this movie's got a ton of filler in it, and it is insufferable at times. And like, this movie just started and it's already insufferable.
Yeah, there's lots of walks down, like slow walks down hallways.
Yep. This whole scene really kind of stuck out to me and struck me as, this is like the Savini scene in Maniac, except it sucks. And the quarterback sucks. At one point, yeah, she does the whole "I love you" thing. And she says it a couple of times, and he's like, like tugging on his collar and shit, like trying not to say it. And eventually he fucking relents. But
yeah, nothing says "I love you" like a panicked look and a long pause.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, this guy must have something going on to keep her in the place, because like he's I don't get it. I don't get the appeal of any of these dudes.
Yeah, he's the quarterback, man.
That's got to be it. And his car is very fancy. No, she says, "There isn't another girl on earth who'd put up with you." And I thought, lady, you shouldn't either. This guy's a fucking dud. Like, nothing
Fuck
about
the both of you.
Yeah, you know what? You deserve what's about to happen. But yeah, just like in Maniac, there's a lot of like, oh, I think there's somebody out there. And like, eventually the car starts shaking, and the guy like jumps up on the hood of the car.
Which this part drove me nuts, because it is so the scene in Maniac where he jumps up on the hood, like, if that fucking fat slob can jump up on the hood of that car and make that scene tense and cool as hell, there is no reason why this dude has to like clamber up on top.
He struggles, which is crazy.
Slow as hell.
Because we made it a point to really kind of nail it down that like, Joe Spinell does not have the cardio to
No,
be
that is Mitchell. He spends the whole movie sweating.
Yeah. So, yeah, and this is the thing, like, so the killer jumps up on the hood, and, like, he's got a knife, and so he cuts, it's a ragtop, and so he cuts across the ragtop with what appears to be the sharpest fucking knife I've ever seen. Like, this thing must have
And
been...
even still, the dude in the car is just like, you guys, I'm going to get you. And it's like, wait, do you not know what's happening?
Yeah, they're in the back seat, and he jumps into the front seat. And instead of just, like, I don't know, stabbing the kid in the head or something like that, the killer keeps, like, reaching in and trying to, like, undo the clamps and stuff, like, so he could pull the top off. Because you see him, like, struggling. And this gives the kid, the quarterback, enough time to start the car and start to drive. When eventually the guy, like, reaches down and grabs him and, he stabs him on the hood of the car. And then the camera sort of, like, moves in on the girl, who does these very measured screams before presumably the killer kills her. And that's when we get our little title sequence.
This is very much like that scene in Pieces, the bastard scene,
where
it's just like long shriek, pause, long shriek.
Yep. Pause. So what I found, because there's a couple of spots where you hear a scream, but the girl is very clearly not screaming. And apparently what happened was, when the actress who is Courtney, the lead, went in, like, they were like, hey, why don't you give us some screams since you're going to be a scream queen or something, like, whatever bullshit they do in auditions. And so she did, like, a shitload of them, and they recorded them, and then they just repurposed them throughout the movie. So you just, whenever a girl screams, like, you're hearing her scream. They were so impressed with her ability to scream. So after this, like, after the credits roll, we move into a very active campus in the American South.
And the most amazing incidental music I've ever heard.
I have a note.
Cut back from commercial music.
I have a note about that. So she is studying in the upper levels of what appears to be a very dangerous condemned building, which again, this is Chekhov's very dangerous condemned building.
Oh, there's going to be Chekhov's all up on this movie.
I've got Chekhov's tray elevator in here as well.
Fuck you, I do too. God damn it.
Yeah, no, you know what it is? It's we got a rhythm here, and we're just but that appears in every movie we do. Some Chekhov something. But yeah, I said this is a very dangerous condemned building while music cribbed from an Unsolved Mysteries family reunion episode plays.
It had that every single time. This music, it's like this swell, as though we're either cutting to commercial or coming back from commercial.
Yep, it's fucking. The thing is the cheesy music that occupies these spaces I could totally do without. But there are actually a couple of points where the music, I was actually like, okay, this is working.
And this movie has a composer.
Yeah.
This is not just library music.
You can buy it on one of those, like, fluffy, multicolor vinyl editions too. Like, it's available. Oh, yeah. I know how you like your records. So yeah, the girl comes running down, and she is joined by another shithead dude. And I can't tell. Now, this is Mark, the, like, boss of the frat.
Yeah, is he supposed to be a protagonist? Because he's a real piece of shit.
He's a fucking asshole. Like,
everyone in this movie is a piece of shit, but he's, except
you
for
leave
one.
our Radish alone.
Yeah, except for one of them.
Yeah. Well, the thing is I couldn't tell if he was supposed to be Courtney's boyfriend or not, because this interaction sort of suggests it.
I feel like he's supposed to be everybody's boyfriend.
Maybe. Yeah, because the thing is that throughout all of this, she's the chaste final girl. She never really seems to act romantically toward him. And there's even a scene like a little further on here where, like, the kind of, like, slutty victim to be shows up, and he's like, hey, when are you gonna let me hit that? So yeah, I don't know. He's just he's a dick.
He says something in this scene that I think it really sums up his character, but also the 80s. In which he says, what do I need chemistry for? I'm going into advertising.
I was trying to work something in here about how this is very reflective, or his character is very reflective of that Reagan period. Because there's a lot of that, like, he's like the material collar popped mirror shades like 80s cool guy, or at least he's the one that everybody thinks is the cool guy. But like, I don't know. He's such a fucking asshole, and his hair sucks. I hate it so fucking much.
The hair in this movie. Either they had a huge hair budget or no hair budget, because it dominates the scene. Every frame is 60% hair.
Every time, him in particular, like there's a couple of characters who got big hair, but his is this like perfectly feathered helmet, and it's either he's got like a pointy cone head under it, or it just naturally like flows up and then outward, because the way that it falls is just fucking impossible. It's like,
and it's effortless. The whole thing is effortless.
Yeah. He's like Steve on Stranger Things. It's
this
weird.
Is what they say on Random Horror Generator podcast. This is what they call the high 70s.
Yeah. This is
still the early 80s, but it's still got that aesthetic.
I feel that way about like every sort of change into each decade. Is like you got a couple of years when you're definitely in the new decade, but you're feeling the hangover of the last one, and this one definitely feels like that. It's almost like Dazed and Confused a bit, where like all of the like the teenagers look like adults because they all got big fucking mustaches and stuff. And
I kind of appreciate that. I will be honest. I love a movie where kind of beauty standards were lower. You're going to get this a lot in the 70s and 80s, where it's like some of these people look gnarly as hell. Yeah. Like there's acne. They have got fucking eyebrows like nobody's business.
Yep.
Like it is. I love that shit.
Yep. So there's a little bit of banter back and forth, and then enter Radish.
Oh my God.
Thank God. Radish.
From moment one, Radish is doing it for the back rows.
He is. I am so grateful for this character, because if he were not in this movie, I would have suffered through the whole thing. His performance
is baffling. He is compelling. he is everything and nothing.
He must have, and he's the one character who seems to have any sort of dimension to him. Also, like everybody else is just a character whose destiny is with a knife.
I mean, those dimensions don't make a lot of sense.
But... No. But he's so great. He's so great. He comes running up into the scene, and he is this like nebbish, nerdy American college student.
Okay, here's how I imagine this whole thing played out. The director, and I'm using that very generously, the director said, "You're awkward, you're nerdy, you don't know how to act around girls." And he's like, "Okay, right." And then he gives us, "I'm the lead in Boys in the Band." Because out the gate, and as far as I know, this actor is not gay.
Okay, but I'm glad that you said it, because I was a little nervous to bring it up, because I don't want to just be like,
allow me.
Isn't this guy the gayest character you've ever seen? Because he reads gayer to me than he does nerdy.
Because I think he was like, "You're a nerd, now go." And he's like, "Okay, I'm a nerd." And he comes back as the weirdest gay stereotype. Like the kind, which is why I say Boys in the Band, because it's very like 1960s, like he's sensitive and he's this. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
He's Paul Lynde if he were in Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah, he's Paul Lynde if Paul Lynde weren't an alcoholic. Like he's Paul Lynde if Paul Lynde weren't an angry gay man. And you know what? In the 60s, they were all angry gay men.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's understandable.
But like he just comes out like, just like, "Oh my God, it's so nice to be here, everybody."
He is practically floating.
Yeah. It's so weird.
It's so weird. But
don't worry, you just leave the homophobia to me. I got this.
I just didn't know how to bring it up, but I'm glad
okay because I'm one of them.
I'm glad that it wasn't just me as I'm reading this, because I'm like, this couldn't, like, I was like, am I being terrible right now? Is this really how it seems?
No, he is the reason I wanted to watch this movie, because it is so fucking weird. Like the rest of this movie it's barely there. It is a non-movie, except for this incredibly strange, compelling baffling character.
I feel confident in saying that if you watch this movie, he's the reason to watch it. And I would say watch it because he is just that interesting. Like, there is not another character out in any other movie that I can think of that's like him.
Yeah, like, you don't want to watch this movie like on your own, like on a Tuesday. This is like it's Saturday and I just took an edible kind of movie. Like, this is not a thing you invest like real time in.
Thank God for him. He comes running up and first of all, can he not afford a backpack? Because he carries this like massive stack of books
because they want you to know he is studious.
Yep.
He's the smart kid. And because of that, he's going to get bullied.
Yep.
Because of that and not his weird, incredibly gay affect.
I'm going to tell you what, he really does take the bullying in stride.
Yeah. Like, he's just like, because
it keeps happening. And then like, he just like kind of like collects himself and he's got a smile. Like he's unflappable. And
yet, weirdly, it does not seem to come from actually, it does. It does and doesn't come from a place of malice. Like, they're just like, oh, Radish is just one of the dudes, but he's also the guy we rag on all the fucking time.
Yep. But but he comes running into the scene with this like humongous fucking stack of books, and I believe that's a pocket protector in his pocket.
Oh yes,
and it is. He comes. He's like, oh my God, did you guys hear? Or did you hear what happened at March College or something like that? And Mark, the douchebag frat bro, says like, this was another football recruiting scandal. And he says, better, a mass murder. And apparently it's
now,
awesome.
Look, I don't know how you rank these things, but I will be honest. I think a mass murder is more interesting than a football recruiting scandal because I don't give a fuck about football.
Yep.
Mass murder though?
Nope.
Okay.
But Mark is into this because and apparently it's awesome because the QB got killed, because now whatever school it is that they're at, they can beat them. But also, why the fuck is he called Radish? This seems like it seems both random and also very deliberate. Like,
but you know what? I don't want to know.
I
want this to be a mystery.
Let's
like everything else about him.
Yep. But he is like super, and what we come to find out is that Radish is like really, really obsessed with true crime. Like, he's like one of the original like true crime. Like, he would probably have like 6 podcasts of his own about true crime today if he were a real person. But he seems like both morbidly obsessed with them and fascinated, but also terrified of them.
Yeah, look, I'm not gonna lie. If Radish had a true crime podcast, I'd listen to it.
I would 100% listen to it. I would be subscribed, and I would be in his Patreon. I
do think that the valorization of mass murder in this movie is a very bold choice.
Yep. As they're moving on, here comes Wildman. His name, and his name is Wildman because it's on his shirt, and he's the big, stupid, drunk frat bro who runs by and he knocks the books out of Radish's hands because that's a thing that you do to nerds.
I will say, Wildman is among the better actors.
I have that on here. Is his character is annoying as hell, but he's trying where the others are not.
He is a cliche through and through, but he really does sell it.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like, what if John Belushi's character weren't funny and just fucking sucked?
Yeah. They're on their way to chemistry class for their chemistry final.
I don't know why you need chemistry if you're going to go into advertising.
Neither do I. You think that his curriculum would match his major, right? Was it Mark needs to get an 82 on his test, or his parents are
oddly specific.
Very specific. He's done the math for how to get a passing grade, but if he doesn't, his parents are going to stop paying for his sweet ride, which is like a Firebird or something like that. We see it eventually. So then we move into the classroom for a teacher who is a fucking dead ringer for Kurt Vonnegut, but where Kurt Vonnegut is cool, this guy fucking blows. And
he's fucking worst.
And it is criminal that he doesn't get killed in this movie.
But this is where we get more of that valorization of mass murder, where it's just like, oh, Charles Whitman, he's one of my favorites. That's a goddamn quote.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, because this teacher is like really, and I mean like acutely paranoid about cheating. Like he stands in front of the class as they get ready to take this test and spends like 10 minutes really drilling it into these kids that he's not going to tolerate cheating. And the thing that kind of leads to the Charles Whitman riffing is that he's got like a sniper on a nearby rooftop, like ready to shoot somebody if they look on somebody else's paper.
For those who don't know, Charles Whitman was the brain injured student at Texas A&M in the late 60s who climbed up into a tower and shot a shitload of people. And terrorized the entire campus. It is a harrowing story.
It's a very fucked up story. Like
now, in this movie, though, it is a solid bit of comedy.
Oh yeah, well, but you know why? Because what happens fucking next? School shooting.
Oh, we didn't get, because we got more in between this. You get the coach. You get the introduction to the coach.
Oh God, you're right. I thought the coach happened afterwards.
I'm gonna tell you something. The coach is a dildo.
I fucking hate him so much. I cannot fucking stand him.
He is a local hire actor.
He's got to be. He is like a character out of fucking Dukes of Hazzard or something. Like he's ridiculous. So yeah, what is it?
Like, hey, you need someone who's like a Southern guy who's like middle-aged and probably cool with rape. I got your dude.
I have a fucking note on here that he has definitely covered up 6 sex crimes in the last year alone. Like, I fucking hate this character so much. And again, I wish he got killed, because there's a couple of these side characters, these shitty wait, no, he doesn't.
The coach, yes, he does. He dies at the end.
Is that the coach or is that the sheriff?
The coach. The sheriff never comes back. The sheriff is also a dildo, by the way.
Oh, see, I confused the two characters because they're basically the same.
Because they're the same character,
and they look alike. And okay. Well, this is gonna. My notes are all
overweight, middle-aged guy who's probably cool with rape.
God, he sucks. But yeah, so what was it? Radish finishes his test first, and then Wildman finishes his test, and he leaves. And as he's leaving, like there's all the while that this is happening, there's been these kind of like shots of a van moving around the campus, and it's the signal here is. The killer has entered the scene, and so you see Wildman like walking across the quad, and he's about to get killed by, be attacked by the killer, except that it's not the killer, it's this stupid fucking coach. And I don't even really know what the purpose of the scene is. I don't know what the purpose of any of these scenes is really, but
just to get you from point A to point B.
Really, and like to fill out time or something like that, because like this is like, okay, so.
These are all just long walks down a hallway to answer the phone.
Yeah.
This is filling out 90 minutes.
He kind of like sneaks up and like, I don't know, tackles Wildman from behind. And this is when we finally meet him, and you really kind of get a sense for what we're talking about. He just is shitty. Like, he's not it's not that like he's an asshole or anything like that. He's just dumb.
Also, can you imagine like if you ever had a coach who just did that to you, just came up behind, like, first, I can't, get off of me, don't touch me.
I would have punched him in the fucking face, like, just out of like reaction. Like, I would have turned around and just snapped him right in the nose.
Well, is this supposed to be like boys being boys? I don't understand it.
That's his whole thing, is because he comes back later and sort of excuses everything as boys will be boys, which makes me feel like pressuring women into non-consensual sex is also probably just boys being boys. And why have the police involved? That sort of thing. But yeah.
America!
Yeah, right. But now there's another van driving around, and like maybe it's the killer's van. We don't know. But there's guys with guns inside. And
also, not the killer's van.
Not the killer's van, because it's brown or something like that. And the other killer's van is like blue, maybe. They pull up very suddenly, very fast, and the door throws open. There's all these guys in ski masks of fucking M16s, and they just start shooting people all over the place. And it's just mayhem on the quad all of a sudden. This is a very, very long scene where...
And so many of the people are just like, the students are just really blasé about this school shooting. But some of them are just like real chill about it.
Yeah, a bunch of them get shot. And then once it all wraps up, like the guys in the ski masks like run out and grab a bunch of the people who've been shot and throw them in the van, and then they drive away, and everybody is obviously very very scared about it, except for a few of them who think it's hilarious. And this is
that classic school shooting prank.
Oh yeah, it's never not funny, But this is the first time that we see Radish run, and he has the fucking weirdest run. First of all, he's still holding that huge stack of books, but he's like flying across the quad. Like he runs really fast. And he calls he gets on the phone and he calls,
and he says, and I quote, "You have to get out here. It's happening. The psychopaths are here."
But he delivers it in a very impassioned, like, you have to get over here. It's happening. The psychopaths are here. Like,
he is the weirdest fucking character ever committed to film, and he is selling it every minute.
Yep, it's such a great line. And then we cut back to the quad, and like there is this girl who comes running up, and she sees Courtney and one of the other girls, and comes running up to her, and she's like terrified. She's like, "Did you just see that? Like all of these people got killed." And Courtney and the other girl are like, "Ha ha ha ha! Oh boy." Well, yeah, about that. I saw the frats sticker on the back of their car, and the look that this girl who was just terrified a moment ago gives her. He says so much because like she doesn't immediately go like, "Oh, okay, like I get it." It's more like, "Oh, all right,"
which I feel like is a really good reaction, because I feel like I'd be like,
I would be her as well. Like that was supposed to be funny,
because I think that is objectively not funny.
Not at all. Nope. It's so weird, and I don't know.
What I do think is kind of interesting is that there's a kind of the way they treat this. So this is obviously what we'd look at now and be like, "Oh, it's a school shooting." The thing we do every day now. But instead, they look at it as though it's a terroristic act. And I think it's really interesting to consider that in 1981, they would view this as a act of foreign terror.
Well, sure, because they came, because it wasn't just a van full of guys with guns. They had the ski masks on, which was really like that look came from Black September.
Oh yeah, it's the Libyans, Marty. Like that's what this is.
Yeah, like the assassination in Munich was fresh in people's minds still, because that was only a few years before this movie came out.
It's just wild to me that like they're like, "Oh, it's an act of terror," and like now we're just like, "No, it's not." I mean, yes, it is, but
no, it's just an incel with a chip on his shoulder.
It's just an angry white guy.
Yeah. Yep. We just we shake it off like it's no big deal, and we move to like a lunch hall where we get introduced to Gary the Pledge, who, this poor guy, I feel so bad for him, and also I don't, because he's trying to rush this frat and fuck those guys. But it turns out
like he's real serious about it.
He's really into it, yeah. But it turns out that the shooting wasn't just a prank. It was supposed to be a distraction so Mark could cheat on his test. And so what he does is, as the shooting is happening, what we see him do is he pulls out a red pen, he marks a few things wrong, and he gives himself an 82. And he leaves the room while everybody's.
Now, is it just me, or is this an incredibly elaborate?
That's what I said. Like there are easier ways to cause a distraction. You don't have to go out and like drive your van recklessly into a quad full of people.
Yeah, this has props. This has costumes. This has special effects.
It's a movie within a movie.
Yeah, it really is. Like this is a production.
Yep. But and
it's the goddamn South, so we know that it's not going to be that high quality.
But I think, is this the part where Mark takes him out like outside and is like, "You got to go and steal this test for me"? Like that's the thing. So yeah, like there's a bit of this where, again, Mark is at lunch with everybody, and he takes Gary the Pledge out, and he gives him his next mission, which is to.
And this was the point at which I was like, I love the fact that they're all just kind of fucked up looking. Like they're all just like, they just look like regular people. When you put a camera on them and you put them under some lights, it's just like, it reminds me of that George Carlin bit about like looking at yourself in a mirror in like a gas station bathroom.
Yeah.
Like under neon lighting. It's just like, God
Yeah,
damn, I love that everyone just looked like shit and that was cool.
Oh God, I know. Like they just didn't have like a makeup artist or whatever. But they definitely had a grips to do lighting, because the lighting in this
But you
movie,
didn't need to have a makeup artist, and that's the best part.
they're just natural, man.
Like, okay, maybe Faye Dunaway did, but everybody else who wasn't Faye Dunaway,
Yep.
you just looked the way you looked.
Yep. So
Sometimes you're Ally McGraw and you have giant eyebrows, and that's fine.
Yeah. Also, this introduces, is it Karen? Is that her name? She's the kind of ditzy one who's like in love with.
She's the blonde one.
Yeah, well, they're both blonde, but like I know one's Janet and one's.
Let's
Karen.
dispense with the PC of it all. Is she the slutty one?
No, that's I believe that's Janet. But yeah, like there's a couple of like the friends, just to mark them off on your bingo card. We've got the chaste final girl. We've got a kind of ditzy girl who's just sort of like
she's Gary's girlfriend.
Yeah, she's in love with being in love, and then there's Janet, who's the slutty one. I believe we kind of meet all three of them in this scene, but we're also introduced to Chekhov's tray elevator, which is literally it's like a dumbwaiter with an elevator.
Because initially my thought was, what is this fucking weird shot?
I know.
Lowers you down. I'm like, why are they doing this? Why are they? Because there's this moment where they're like, if she puts the tray on the thing and it lowers down into like, I don't know,
like the kitchen or the dish pit. Yeah. But yeah, like, because she doesn't just put it in there. Like, there's a shot of the camera on the elevator, like going down and like getting onto onto the conveyor belt. It's like it's one of this movie's like occasional artsy flourishes, because there's a couple of scenes later on that I was like, watching, and this.
Because it's one of those moments where somebody on this crew saw that thing and was like, oh, we're coming back to that.
Yeah. But like this again, we go to another like really long bit of filler where we watch the guy like take the tray off the thing and then empty it in the garbage and put it in the dishwasher, and then he ties up the garbage and he takes it away, and we watch him leave the building and go out back to the dumpster and throw it away for some reason.
And stare at her ass when she
That's true. She does, because Courtney also walks out, but like there's no reason for this, but she passes by the killer's car.
This is the thing about the 70s. It's like, I think now we're so accustomed to like everything just fucking bangs along. Like if you lose someone after 4 minutes, you're done. Like the movie's over. Yeah. So everything is like a Marvel movie. In the 70s, you just fucking hung out. Like everyone's like, oh, the phone is ringing. Excuse me while I go get the phone. And the camera pans and then follows them down the hallway for a solid 10 minutes until they get to the phone. They casually answer the phone.
Yep.
They talk for a minute. They hang it up. It's that thing of like, why are we in a hurry? There's no internet.
I know, they were so mellow. There's back then.
3 channels. What are you going to do? Read the newspaper? Fucking hang out, man.
I know.
Don't worry about it.
TV Guide was like an inch thick at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got nowhere to be. Put your tray on the weird fucking Chekhov's tray thing and hang out.
So I would like to point out that like a solid hour or two has passed between this scene and the shooting, and the fucking cop finally shows up.
That was my question, because I was like, wait, didn't that happen like 3 hours ago?
And he is so pissed. He is so pissed that he's being asked to do his stupid job.
And this guy, who is the sheriff, my note just says the sheriff is also a dick.
He is Roscoe P. Coltrane, again, from the fucking Dukes of Hazzard.
But he is giving you his best Strother Martin from Cool Hand Luke, like by way of every sheriff,
my God,
every Scooby-Doo episode.
He 100% is. Like, yeah. Like he probably, because it turns out that the sheriff was also the dialogue coach on the movie. So I don't know if he'd ever acted. They were just like,
that explains a lot.
I know, they were like, okay, so you're a cop. And he's like, okay, but what kind of a cop? And they're like, I don't know, like, you've got the mirror shades and you got the stupid hat.
He's like, oh, a hick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and again, like this is why I confused him at the end with the coach, because they look the same, they both talk the same. He may as well be the coach, but he's got this like pissed off attitude about coming down and responding to what to everybody else on campus was a real shooting, except that like it took them 5 minutes later after it had happened to figure out that it wasn't. But I get the feeling that he would have been just as pissed if it were a real shooting. Like he would have been.
Yeah, he may as well have just made a comment about how we lost Vietnam while he's at it. Like, everything about this guy is just like, this is America.
Yeah. And he comes up like basically like hiking up his pants and shit like that, as like,
because he's boss hog.
Yeah, and it's Radish and Mark and Courtney and like basically everybody who witnessed this thing. And his attitude is basically like, you're the one. He goes to Radish and he's like, you're the one who called me, weren't you? And the Radish is like, I didn't say I wasn't. And
yeah, he's like, I called you because there's a fucking school shooting, man.
Yeah.
You're the sheriff.
Yep.
Who else am I going to call?
Yep. This is not the first time that they're going to tangle. He says to him, and he again, this is Radish, and he's pleading with the sheriff. He's like, well, like, why wouldn't I call? He's like, senseless murders are a modern phenomenon. These type of murders happen all the time.
Like, Radish, man, you are just begging to be called a queer.
And that's the thing. Like, and his dialogue, his lines are really specific. Like, I wonder if he wrote them or something, because like,
I hope he did.
Oh my God, that'd be so great.
Because he is immensely talented.
His lines are so specifically weird, like, and like he uses really technical language. And one of the times, like the cop comes over to him, he's like, "So where'd you learn to talk like that?" And what is it? Wildman says, Dragnet. He says, watching Dragnet. So like he talks like a cop. Even when he was on the phone making the initial phone call, he's like,
listen,
the multiple
man,
shooting with bodies and like he was.
I have seen every episode of Dragnet, and aside from the fact that show sucks, there is never an episode where there is a school shooting or a terroristic act.
No, it's mostly just like hippies on acid and smoking weed and shit. Yeah. This cop, his manner.
More improv.
Yep. His manner is so shitty. And now the coach comes in, and it's two of the worst characters in the movie in the same scene. And
what is that coach carrying but Chekhov's bow and arrow?
Yeah. Yep. Chekhov's bow and arrow. Yeah. But this is the whole time where he's like, because the cop is like, I'm going to take you guys in, I'm going to run you in, I'll throw the book at you, or to take you to station, spend the night in the hooskow. And the coach is like, now look, we don't have to get involved. Like his whole thing is like, he's got this chill, like he's definitely just smoked a joint kind of attitude, like where the cop is like cocaine, the coach is weed or Quaaludes, whatever they were doing in the 70s. But also the cop keeps calling Wildman Bulldog. So is his name Wildman or is it Bulldog? Like, where did that come from? Because it's not mentioned anywhere else.
I think it's like a football thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Is it a football thing?
Maybe. I don't fucking know. But then here comes the school's like night watch man. So now we've got three shitty Southern like stereotypes in one scene. And his whole thing is he says to the cop something like, not like, I haven't had one, there's been no crime on my watch or something like that. And it's like, I beg to defer, my friend.
There was a school shooting.
There was
moments ago,
like
or hours ago. I'm not really sure.
There's frat boys breaking into teachers' offices to steal tests.
There's a teacher having sex with a student.
Oh, that's right. I completely danced past that. Like, we'll talk about that in a second, because that scene goes on forever, and it is so gross. But yeah,
that is actually what it says in my notes. Is this scene is gross?
Yeah. Oh no. But yeah, but like later on, Wildman breaks in and steals like fucking opiates from the phys ed doctor.
No, he's looking for speed.
He's looking for speed.
It's just like, why would a college doctor have speed?
Well, that's what he's we'll get there. Let's take a step back though, because God, I can't believe I don't even have any notes on this. But Yeah, so eventually what happens when they're about to do the test is the teacher, Kurt Vonnegut, leaves the room and he goes off to presumably what is his office where he meets Karen or Janet, whatever her name is, the slutty one. And it is immediately revealed that he's having like a sexual relationship with her.
And this is another one of those moments where it's just like, okay, she is a hot young college student,
and he is a dumpy John Holmes looking dude,
professor. Yeah, like, but without the things that drew people to John.
Right.
Holmes. Like,
he's got the weird like late era Mike Brady perm. He's got this shitty mustache, they're very clearly in cahoots. They're conspiratorial. The way they talk about his wife is gross as fuck.
Yeah, it is weirdly misogynistic, but also you just feel bad for everybody.
What does she say? She must be going on what, 30 now? I'm like, fuck you, lady. I can't wait for you to die. Oh God, it's so nasty.
Also, let's talk about looking 30.
I know. And what does he say? She calls.
Speaking of misogyny,
she calls him. She calls her like that redheaded wife of yours or something, and then he's like, "Hey, you're talking about the mother of my guppies" or something like that. Like the entire exchange.
Again, this is more improv. All of this is just more.
It must have been because it's just so nasty, and unfortunately,
it makes me uncomfortable and it's disgusting. And it's like, first of all, this is neither of you would be together.
No, but like he's trying to coerce her into
Chinatown Kurt Vonnegut and
he's trying
blonde girl.
He's trying to coerce her into having sex in the office right then and there, and she's like, no, she wants him to like come up to her, come up and see me sometime at the conservatory or wherever it is that she's going.
And the attic of the Gothic cathedral that she lives in.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
But yeah, like it's just a setup to kind of put her in place later on when she's going to get killed. Unfortunately, he never comes back, so we don't get to see him get killed, which is like the most unfortunate thing of the entire movie. Because if anybody deserves to get killed in this movie, it's that guy. Like his wife will be
like poor man's Howard Hesseman.
Yeah, he's definitely got like a Dr. Johnny Fever thing going on, but like shitty. Like he's the AM radio version of Dr. Johnny Fever.
Which is pretty wild because you get the feeling that Howard Hesseman's probably not a great guy.
I don't know. I presume nothing about him.
Apologies to the Howard Hesseman fans of the world.
I know nothing about him. So like, yeah, now that we've kind of got that out of the way, there is like, let's go back to the scene where the coach and the cop are talking, because they close this out with one of the most fucked up exchanges that's supposed to be cute and funny, but it's not. It's really, really weird. So the coach...
Oh, the hunting line.
No. The coach recounts a story about how the library caught on fire and someone hid the fire department's only hose, apparently. And then all the cops showed up.
Which, again, that just sounds Southern.
They've got one hose, and Cletus hit it again. Oh, that Cletus.
It's a joke.
And all the cops showed up, and they drank beer, and they chanted, "Damn good fire," until the place was nothing but ash, apparently. This whole fucking campus deserves a slasher maniac.
Yeah, if they could have gotten away with inserting a few racist references into that scene, they would.
Oh my God, I am so surprised that they held off from doing that. But
and then everybody in the South is like, why do they say bad things about us? I don't know.
Their representation needs work. It needs.
Yeah, I'm coming for everybody this time.
But
it's been a wild day.
But again, Dukes of Hazzard. It's like they cast all these bit players from Dukes of Hazzard because the cops are going fishing or something, and there's something about a scattergun.
Yeah, they're going to go hunting. And that's why he's like, you going to bring that queer bow and arrow or whatever?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. But
from here, the killer...
But at the same time, everybody is just like a little bit amused. That's the weird thing about this whole movie is that at no time is there not someone in the scene with a smile.
They're all very pleased with themselves.
So they're either having a really fucking good time, in which case I love it, or they're just trying to sell you like nobody's taking the cops seriously. And it's like, okay, but there was still a school like I know it was a fake school shooting, but it
You would think
still could have been a real one.
You would think that somebody would get arrested for that sort of thing. Like, this was a chaotic, hectic scene.
And there's poor weird Radish who's like, look, man, I'm just trying to tell you what I saw.
Yep.
And it was this fucking dude over here.
Radish did nothing wrong.
No.
Nope. But speaking of Radish, his room is awesome. Because now we go to his room. Or wait, no. We go to Courtney's room first. And this is the first time that we see the killer kind of stalking around. So this is a scene that's lifted directly from Halloween, where like she looks out her window and she sees him kind of like walk behind a tree. And it's kind of like the scene where
you know what the difference is though? That scene in Halloween is fucking cool.
It's awesome. Like, that's the thing. Like,
in this movie, I don't care.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay.
I don't even remember.
Well, neither did they, because like we get to a point where like he's not masked. They don't really obscure him at all. Like, I got thoughts on the killer. But yeah, like this is the part where it's like, okay, don't just so everybody doesn't forget, this is a horror movie and here's the killer, because this is like we're now like 45 minutes into a movie that runs 90 minutes. An entire hour goes by before the bodies.
Yeah, this thing doesn't become a horror movie until 55 minutes in.
Oh, yeah. So there's that, and then she goes to Radish's room, which again, like I said, is awesome. He appears to live on his own because like this is just like all of the decorations in this room are just him. He's got this weird picture of what appears to be himself next to his desk. I kind of get the feeling that it's supposed to be somebody that either
it's like a drawing, right?
No, it's like a photograph, or it actually looks almost like a printout of like a picture from the internet or something. But like this is, there's no internet at the time. I have no idea who this guy is, but
I don't know. It's either Radish or Andrew Cunanan. I don't know.
But I get the feeling like he's either somebody that we're supposed to recognize, or it's an in joke for the cast and crew. Like, I don't know, because it's very prominently featured in the scene. But he's got like horror movie posters up all over the place. He's reading Helter Skelter. There's like science shit all over the place.
Some real like kind of fringe. Like there's a Toolbox Murders poster on the wall.
Yep. Corpse Grinders is also in there. Yeah. Like I don't know. Maybe this is them like trying to prove their bona fides or something like that. But
well, try harder.
Yeah. But yeah, he's got a great room, and Courtney goes in and they have a chat, which is just like her going like, how come Karen or Janet, whichever the hot one is, like how come she's got it so easy and I got to work so hard? Like this is kind of the tenor of their conversation. He just sort of reassures her. But then in
a way that is again that's sort of ambiguous in terms of like what's his angle.
Yeah.
Like, is he just being like I'm just a nice guy?
So no, we find out that he's into her.
Or a hot lady. Yeah. But is he into her? We'll get to that moment, because you think you had thoughts before.
Yeah. But she goes back to her room, and somebody has moved her stuff around. She could swear that like the things on her desk have been moved. And then the hot one, Janet or Karen, whatever her name is, she comes in and she opens her closet, and like a book falls down and like almost gives her a heart attack. She's so scared of it.
Yeah, she doesn't mind a school shooting, but a book falling off a shelf scares the shit.
And she's so aggravated by this. She thinks that Courtney set up this trap as like a joke or something like that. But no, this is the murderer menacing the students. He goes in and he kind of moves their desk around a little bit, and then he leaves a really shitty trap.
Like, he's the most annoying murderer.
Yep. And then I have a note, and I don't remember what it was from, but it just says in quotes, "There is no free brunch," which I think is what Radish tells Courtney. He's like,
it's more of that real solid improv.
Yeah. What's brunch?
It's not quite breakfast. It's not quite lunch.
You get a slice of cantaloupe at the end. You get a good meal. But she's talking to him. Oh, right, because she wants to be hot. She wants it to, like things to be like Janet, Karen, and she wants her life to be easy. And Radish says, "I want to be on the SWAT team."
Radish, what the fuck, man? You can't even place a phone call without freaking out.
Yep. I want to be on the SWAT team. So he's like really into the cops, but he's also really into serial killers. But
Go either way.
yeah, so this is when the frat bros, we go back to Radish's room, and this is when the bros like burst in on Radish, and he's listening to some kind of like Renaissance fair Judy Collins piece.
That's what my note also says. Why is he listening to Renaissance fair music?
And but the scene is just more filler.
And I'm not talking like cool Dead Can Dance Renaissance fair music. This is like real Renaissance fair music.
Yeah, no, it's like a woman with a lute, like singing about like, oh, I don't even know, but it's so off-putting and strange, but also really appropriate for Radish.
Yeah.
So this scene is just more filler. Like they come in, I think really what they're trying to do is like they steal his keys or something like that.
But it doesn't, like, you get the feeling that maybe the direction was you're going in to steal the keys, now go, or whatever, however one directs a movie like this. But it doesn't actually have that feeling of like everyone in the scene gets that. It's only the one advertising dude who's like, he knows. But then Wild Man is like, I'm just here to fuck with this kid.
Yeah. Because he like grabs him by the face and like squeezes his lips, and it's it's just Wild Man being Wild Man. Yeah, but this movie,
sometimes you gotta just let Wild Man be Wild.
It's the way of the 70s. This movie, like, we are over halfway through this movie. Very little happens.
No one has died since the beginning.
Yep.
You have seen no.
And
you've just seen like college kids being weird.
Yep. And there's been like a little bit of like, you see the killer's legs or something, or you see him kind of Michael Myersing in the background or something like that. But very little regard is paid to him until like Dave said, 55 minutes in, the fucking bodies start to drop then. But like that is a long, long ways to wait in a slasher movie for a fucking killer, because also the movie is really mild. Like it's barely rated R. Were it not for
until you get to the weird tree moment.
Yeah.
Where everything just takes a hard turn towards somehow weirder.
Yep. So speaking of the tree scene, the pledge Gary, he gets treed, which means that the frat tears his clothes off, and then they tie him to a tree and abuse the hell out of him, and he appears to be bleeding in a couple of these scenes.
No, so everybody is laughing. Like, this is just like, it's a fun college prank. Except, and Gary is laughing too. Yeah. Gary's also bleeding in multiple places on his body. And the whole thing just is inherently dangerous.
He's covered.
They're dumping ice down his underwear, which is like, that definitely is not.
Yeah, they pour water all over him. They stuff ice down his underpants. They cover him in like shaving cream, and they tie him to the tree in this like shibari rope torture rig.
Yeah, this is some weird S&M shit.
These are the movie's heterosexuals.
This scene is very good.
It's so crazy, because also like as they're like watching him struggle, like Wild Man pulls out a lighter and he's like, "Hey, let's set him on fire." And I'm like, I don't know if Gary could hear that, so like maybe he's serious, like he's just that carried away in the moment. But yeah,
I mean, they've already done enough real dangerous shit to him.
He's like, so it's not just me. He does appear to be bleeding, because like this is not the last time we see it. Like later on, the Night Watch man comes by, because this is like middle of the day, and then later at night, the Night Watch comes by and sees him, and he's like, "Oh, thank God, you got to get me out of here!" And like instead of helping him, and now he looks like he has like makeup appliances on him that looks like he's been like stabbed or something, because he's like very seriously bleeding. And instead of helping him, the fucking Night Watch guy pours whiskey on his dick.
Yeah, Gary is in a real precarious place
and we cut
in terms of health.
He if he joins this frat, he will have nearly died several times on the way to initiation. But like we cut away, and it's more of Mark and Wild Man in the frat house, which is a shithole. Like I don't know what frat houses look like, but I hope they don't look like this, because this looks like a fucking heroin flop house. And both of them are drunk acting in this scene in a way that's really annoying.
Listen, I went to the college that gave us Fish, a band. We did not have frat houses.
No, because everybody's high, man.
Oh, yes, they were.
But yeah, but like this scene, like he's like shooting shaving cream in his mouth and like spraying antiperspirant in his mouth and like just being
like what the fuck is that? He all of a sudden he's just he's kind of like a goofy, lovable, like kind of you're like a wing nut. I think you're fine.
I think we're
then all of a
supposed to
sudden
like
he's
him.
just a goddamn lunatic.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to like him. Like we're intended to.
He's like, I'm gonna tie this dude to a tree, sexually torture him. Then I'm gonna go like huff some fucking deodorant, and then I'm gonna go wreck a place and look for speed. It's like a Jim Carroll novel.
Yeah.
Also, that is the most highbrow joke you're getting out of me. You're gonna get misogyny, you're gonna get homophobia, and you're gonna get literary references. That's my life in a nutshell.
It's a good mix of highbrow and lowbrow. But yeah, so this scene, the plan is that they need to sell speed to other people who are trying to like study all night and shit. And he's like, "Hey, wild man, like you got pills over at the phys ed room," and he's like, "No, we got like painkillers." And Mark is like, "Well, what's the difference? Whatever gives you a buzz." There's a pretty significant difference between those two drugs.
What's the difference?
Yep.
They are literally the opposite of each other. Dummy.
Yeah, but the mission is for Wildman to break in. So we've had a guy break in to a teacher's office to steal tomorrow's test, and now we're having a guy break into another teacher's office to steal narcotics. So this like zero crime record that we've got claimed on this place, man, fuck that night watchman. Thank God
this is some real Winter Hill gang.
Yeah, thank God he gets fucking murdered. So a girl eventually goes looking. This is great because I've got notes on this girl.
Yep.
I have no idea what her name is. I don't think she's ever actually named in the movie, but she is fucking weird. So she goes. Gary's like, you got to go get Janet. Janet is her name. So Janet's the sort of love-struck ditzy one, and Karen's the other one. She is convinced. She gets convinced to go look for Janet, and she goes running.
And this girl, she's kind of like low. She's like bottom shelf Pinky Tuscadero.
Yep. Yeah. So she's the same girl from the beginning after the shooting happens, and she's like, "Oh my God, did you see that?" And the girls are like, "Oh, that frat." She's the one who has that kind of concerned look on her face, but she's also probably the most bloodthirsty person at the tree scene. Where like this is like a frat event where all the frat bros are doing it, but she is vigorously applying the shaving cream to poor Gary. But at this scene, she runs around campus looking for Janet, and at one point we see her walking down a hall, and she reaches behind her and very busily picks a wedgie. I had to stop it and go back twice to make sure that is what I saw her do.
Yes.
Yep. And
it's the best part of the movie.
Because it doesn't end there. Like her weird behavior continues into the next scene where it's Karen and Courtney are in their room, and Janet and Courtney are in the room talking, and this is where the girl walks in, and the two sort of main girls are having a conversation, and this weirdo wedgie picking girl sort of offers them a stick of gum and then like sheepishly retracts it when neither of them are paying attention to her. What the fuck? This is like this is the most brilliant comedy I've seen in a while.
It's like what if Jan was gross? It's gross as hell. Oh God.
Oh God. But finally, okay, so this is the 1 hour mark, and finally the killing starts. And of all people to kill first, they had to kill Pledge Gary. And I gotta say, Gary, of everybody they could have killed, Gary didn't do nothing to nobody. All he wants to do was get into that stupid frat and love his girlfriend. And he gets untied first, but presumably it's the killer. He's behind the tree, like cutting the ropes, and then he gets killed. And then
in like this sort of unceremonious and boring.
Yeah, most of the kills fucking boring. Like
except for one, which we are going to get to.
Yeah. So now Janet comes thinking that he's there, and what she finds is the ropes on the tree and Gary's shirt on it. And for some reason, she's like, "Oh, Gary, you're just playing with me," or whatever. And so she's
like, oh, you're being real sexy, Gary. And it's like, no, Gary was just tied to a tree for 6 hours and had ice and liquor dumped down his pants. I tell you right now, Gary is not sexy.
Libido is probably at an all-time low for him. Like after
he should also be pretty pissed.
Yeah, but she sees the silhouette of a person off in the distance against the school's observatory, and she's like, "Oh, Gary!" And she calls out to him, and Gary doesn't call back. And again, this is not the first time this happens. This happens in the movie. This is going to happen again, where she like walks along trying to get closer to him, and she finds like more of his clothes on the ground. And of course, to her, this is like, oh, it's like sexy time.
And this is that fucking terrible scene from The Burning, which, I mean, every scene in The Burning is a terrible scene. But I think they also do it in one of the Friday movies where it's like, oh, I found more clothes.
Yeah.
Oh, here's more. It's very much like, ooh, piece of candy.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Piece of candy.
Yep. And she finally gets to the observatory and is like, oh, no, that's not Gary. And she tries to get away. And then the killer, like, jumps out and pulls her away. And we don't see her get killed. But presumptively she dies.
Yeah, they really kind of back end load this action.
So next we see Wildman get up to the gym, and he goes in, and for whatever reason he opens all the bottles, like the bottles of pills. Like it would have been more economic for him to just stuff the pill bottles in his fucking pockets, but he like.
So I think. Why? Because I was like, why is he wrecking this place? Like he's like a Tasmanian.
Yeah, well, one of the things they talked about was like,
it's because they're supposed to make it look like a robbery.
Yeah, Mark told him to do that, like bust it up, make it look like a break-in, because he says to him.
Yeah, so I must have missed that part because I'm like, why is he ripping this place apart?
Yeah, it's during that really shitty part. You're probably distracted by him, like spraying deodorant in his mouth and shit, because like that's the scene where they talk about it. Mark's like, no, you can do this, just like make it look like a break-in. So he goes and he trashes the place, and he opens all the bottles of pills. He dumps them out, and then he grabs handfuls of them and stuffs them in his pockets. And then we see him like leave the office and go into the gym, where he appears to be eating the pills like candy.
Definitely not a good idea.
No, that's actually a very bad idea. But this was one of the scenes where I was like, okay.
Because you're like, oh, you're okay. Final exam. You're about to do a thing.
Yeah, because he. How do you describe this? So he walks into the main to the basketball courts, and there's a big bright spotlight kind of on him, but he leaves the spotlight, and it's just him like standing in pitch darkness, completely surrounded by this blackness. It's like something out of a Bogdanovich movie or something. Like it's
like this is the one cool shot.
It's very artful, and
because the whole fucking like the what is that?
The scoreboard lights
score
up.
Thing.
Yeah.
Like that's all lit up. Like it looks really.
It's a very well composed shot. Like if I got anything good to say about this movie, 1, Radish, he's the best. 2, Wildman's death scene, because the composition.
This is the one death scene that's like, wow, this is kind of gnarly.
Yeah. So he starts to like walk away, and then the lights come up in the place, and the killer is standing there in the middle, at like center court, but like in silhouette. And then they struggle, like Wildman goes at him, and the killer just dispatches him very easily, just whips the shit out of him.
Which is a little bit weird because Wildman he's a big dude.
Yeah.
And we are sort of given to believe that he has some sort of physical prowess when it comes to fighting.
So they struggle for a while. They end up like crashing into the weight room, where the killer gets the best of him, and he wraps the cables of essentially like a cable pull machine, like a weight machine, around his neck, and you see him lift like 200 pounds of plates, and and then it snaps him back and he gets choked out. Apparently that actor got really choked out in that scene.
Well,
Yep.
we hardly knew
Yep.
ye.
But as they're happening, also there are like profile shots of the killer. Like they're not hiding this guy anymore.
Yeah, because it's not gonna fucking matter if you see him or
He's
don't.
just like a guy in like a green army jacket with a shitty haircut. And then like there's a couple of times where like they just straight up show his face. It was
And you know what he looks like? Every time they show him, you know what he looks like? He looks like the scene in Sleepaway Camp where they right before Judy's death, where they try to make you think that, well, I don't want to ruin Sleepaway Camp.
we're doing Sleepaway Camp.
Hey, fuck yeah, we are. And but they try to make you think it's somebody else in the shot, and so it's like this kind of like, it looks like a figure with a really bad mullet wig.
Yeah.
And like that's the way it looks every time they show it. It's like it looks like someone just placed a really awful. Do you know who Peter Berlin is?
Doesn't ring a bell.
You probably don't. He he's sort of a gay icon from the 70s. He kind of a Castro clone. These things don't mean anything. He looks like He-Man. He really looks exactly like He-Man. It looks like someone took this awful kind of like Dutch boy hair and placed it on his head. And that's what this every time they show this silhouette, it's like, it looks like someone took a really awful Stephen King wig and just placed it right on his
see,
head.
I can never remember the name of the actor off the top of my head. The bad guy in No Country for Old Men is what I kept thinking of.
The character's Anton Chigurh, I believe.
that character, but I can never remember the name of it.
Javier Bardem.
That's him. Now Radish shows up because one of the things that we completely glossed over in the beginning is the coach gave him like an imperative. He's like the fucking like equipment manager or something like that in the gym. So Radish has to go there to like count the equipment or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but he can't because he's trashed.
Is this after the drinking whiskey?
He doesn't. So he shows up at her room first.
Yeah.
So he's drunk and he shows up at what's her face's dorm room.
Yeah.
And this is when they start to give that impression that like he's interested in her. And this is the I don't remember any of their fucking names.
Yeah.
If you're not Radish, I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
So he shows up at Final Girl's room and he's like kind of giving her that like, you have a real pretty face.
Oh, that's right. Is that before this? It
Yes.
must. Yeah, it must have.
Because then he goes to the thing and finds the dead.
Yeah. So, because also, like, he basically goes to her room and like kind of tells her that he's into her,
but kind of doesn't at the same time. He sort of. It would be like if I went to her room and was just like, "Hey, chin up, Buckaroo. You got a real pretty face." Like I don't fucking.
Yeah. But he walks away and he's like, "That was real stupid, kid." Like he's talking to himself really loudly.
Look, I don't want to sound like an essentialist here, but the fact that they want us to believe that Radish is a straight character, it strains critique.
It's a reach in this movie because his performance is,
again, boys in the band. Like he is really giving you flamboyant gay.
He's very effeminate, and it's very weird when he tries to sort of do the scene with Courtney, because just the whole movie I'm like, is he gay? Like, is this what the character is? Is this what he's doing? Like, what is this?
And so this is that sort of hangover from that idea of like, what is a pansy in like a 50s?
Yeah.
Like it's that idea of like, oh, you're kind of a mincing, you're a teacher's pet, you're really studious and all that. And at some point, it kind of like the line blurs where it's like, you're not giving us that anymore. You're just, I want to use a word that everybody would bristle at, unless you were in my living room, and even then you might. But it's just he's so gay.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to believe that he's just like, no, I told her the truth, and well, now she knows. And he walks away, and when he says that line of like, well, I can't believe you did it. That was stupid, kid. You get the feeling like there is about to be a big swell of music, and he is going to burst into song. Like it has that kind of like fucking musical moment, and it's like, who are you selling this to? Nobody believes
Yeah.
this.
But he also lays one of his sort of like patented lines on her where she's like, you
One
don't,
of those patented Radish
yeah, it's like
lines.
he's saying all this like morbid shit to her, and she's like, you don't have to be so morbid all the time. And he's like, people are killed every day for no reason at all, which is another really great line. But now it's Mark's turn to die. Finally. He goes in after, like, I don't know, Wildman doesn't show up, so he goes to look for him, and he finds him stuffed into a locker, which is ironic. But he's also upside down, which is awesome.
Yeah, no, I thought the part was
Yeah,
pretty cool.
and he gets chased to like a boiler room or like electrical room on the campus, and the killer's, he keeps thinking he's giving the killer the slip. It's like a really fucking long chase scene, and then he basically turns and runs directly into the killer's knife, which he gets stabbed through with, and then we cut.
And here's what the movie doesn't understand, that I think maybe a lot of movies in the 80s didn't really get, is there are two ways that this can go if you want to be effective. One is we either have to care about this person a lot, that when they die, it doesn't have to be big. Like it's like when Nancy Kai's character in Halloween, what the fuck is her name? Annie.
Yeah.
When she dies in the car, and you're like, and that scene is long and horrible, but it's like, we don't want those characters to die. So when they do die, it sucks.
Yeah.
Or it has to be, thrown into a sleeping bag and slammed against a tree.
Right.
Like, it has to be either really big or it has to really suck.
That's the thing.
I don't give a fuck about this guy. I don't care how he dies.
Right. I mean, it would have been great, or it would have been at least better if it had been some sort of like elaborate set piece, because like he's such a despicable character. Like nothing about him is ever good. I hated him every time he was on screen, and I kept thinking like, his death scene is going to be cathartic.
Because that's what that is. That when they build up these characters, they're going to die. So like we want you to hate them. So when they die, there's payoff. Yeah. There's no fucking payoff to any of these people because they're not set pieces. They just sort of die.
Yeah. And so
also we skipped over the fact that when Radish is in the room, the dorm room, there's a photograph of the chemistry professor just like framed and on the dresser, but it's clearly a headshot.
Yeah. Oh, it's like his professional headshot. Yeah. So yeah, now I actually jumped over this. So what I meant, Radish, now he shows up to the gym to count the equipment. He finds the front door open, and he says to himself, shades of Watergate. And all I could think of, did you watch True Detective?
First season.
Okay, so the first season, there is a scene where Cole and I can't remember, Marty, they're going back to his car at some point, and Cole is saying just Rust and Cole shit. And Marty says, I want you to stop saying odd shit.
This place is like somebody's memory of a town, and the memory's fading. It's like there was never anything here but jungle.
Stop saying shit like that. It's unprofessional.
Oh, is that what I'm going for here?
Just want you to stop saying odd shit, like you smell a psychosphere or you're in someone's faded memory of a town. Just stop.
That's all I could think of in this scene, because he just keeps muttering these like weird little non sequiturs and like strange just bon mots that go nowhere.
Except like True Detective is like, that has a lot of satire in it. This does not. This movie has no self-awareness at all.
Yeah. So,
which is its only saving grace.
So Radish, as he's walking, they must have mic'd his pants, because you can hear because
those are corduroys.
You can hear the corduroy as he's walking.
That's a whale cord.
And this is when he goes in and he finds Mark's dead body falls out of a locker, and he goes and he finds the phone and he calls the sheriff again. And the sheriff gets on the line and he says, it's happening here. And so once again, fuck this sheriff. Do your stupid job, pig, because all this guy does is fight with Radish on the phone before he just hangs up. And now we see Radish run again. So Now it's oh god, now I see it. So now it's Karen or Janet or Lisa, whatever her name is. It's her turn to die. She's the one who's supposedly up in the conservatory waiting for the teacher to show up.
This is where she's in the Gothic cathedral.
Yes,
This is like it's like something out of Dark Shadows. I don't know where she's in. She's in like some attic of a castle somewhere.
She's in a sexy, like plunging dress, playing piano in the dark or by candlelight or something. And again,
did you ever see the night Evelyn came home from the grave or came out of the grave or whatever? There's a scene in that where a lot of it takes place in the attic, and this is an Italian giallo that is, pretty atmospheric, and it's like that. It's like she's in the attic of some fucking castle doing art.
I mean, where else are you gonna do art?
At some weird college in the South.
Yeah. But again, this is we go back to when Janet died. We go back to that ruse again, and it's not just
Janet.
It's she's Gary's girlfriend, the one who finds the trail of clothes. And this isn't just in this movie. This happens in a lot of slasher movies, and like you pointed out a couple as we were talking about it. When a victim is waiting for someone and the killer is nearby, like they're in the room or they're real close, they call out to whoever it is that they're expecting, and then they keep doing it even though they get no reply. And for whatever reason, the character in the movie automatically thinks that their like boyfriend or whatever is like playing games with them. And
it's that scene from Black Christmas where she's like, who is that?
Yeah.
Who's in there? And it's like, why are you talking to the fucking closet?
Yeah. Like, so they're setting themselves up to be murdered. If I were alone in the dark and I called out to the person, to somebody, and the person I was expecting didn't reply, I would get the fuck out of there. I would lock the door.
You have 5 seconds or I'm leaving.
Yeah, this is not cute. Because eventually, like inevitably what ends up happening is it turns from like amused to like scared, where they're like, this isn't funny anymore, like that kind of thing. That doesn't happen here, but like she's very confused. And we cut back to Radish hauling ass, running so fucking fast. He is practically on fire. But as he's running,
and this is a cartoonish, goofy run.
Because also the music has this like xylophone sound that's like Looney Tunes shit, where it's like the mallet goes up the xylophone and then goes down the xylophone. It's like,
yeah, you may as well have played some real circus music.
But he is running so fucking fast. He's the fastest slasher movie character I've ever seen. He runs twice in this movie, and he also has a fucking funny run, but
not fast enough.
Not fast enough. So we cut back to what's her name, the sexy one, for a little cheap nudity, which surprised me.
Doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. Doesn't fucking matter. I don't care. But a little cheap nudity, which is really wild because this movie is super chaste. Like I said, it's barely rated R. But this is obviously, a scene that just kind of nails it down. Like if they were going to get if they were going to get an R rating at all, it was for this, because the violence in the movie is hardly there at all. All the time that Radish is running, I'm like, you better make it to the end of this fucking movie or I'm going to be so mad.
Radish is our Annie Brackett. You don't want him to die.
Nope. He's the only one that I cared about, and I was so mad because he gets to Courtney's door and he knocks on it, and then the killer punches through and pulls his head in, and I don't know what he does to him because we don't see it, but fuck, Radish is dead. He somehow makes it back to Lisa's alcove, wherever it is that she is, this Gothic cathedral that she's playing piano in. She's surrounded by like paintings and stuff like that because it's like a art studio.
I mean, she's playing piano. She's playing a grand piano in the attic of God knows where. And then when she's done with that, she's going to do some portrait painting. Like, what is this?
It's a loft in the.
It's
a loft in the East Village. But yeah, so the killer somehow makes it over there very, very fast. And she thinks it's the teacher who's there, and so she's like nude and then like wraps herself in like a silver blanket or something, one of those like space blankets they give you when you do a marathon. And she gets stabbed by the killer, and in a little bit of not so subtle moralizing, like blood spatters on all of these like paintings of nudes. And this part kind of this shit drives me fucking nuts, even though it's like rote slasher movie stuff. John Carpenter has been very clear over the years that there wasn't any moralizing in Halloween. Like all the shit that people heaped on it later, that like Laurie Strode
Oh, don't get me started.
like Laurie Strode is this like chaste good girl. Like it's all just, that was fucking happenstance. Like we just didn't see her on any given day in her life. She could have been like PJ Souls' character or something like that. Like we just don't fucking know. Like she wasn't rewarded for, not having sex or something like that. This movie makes that equivalency. It bothered the shit out of me because it always does when I see that stuff in those.
Oh, because everybody misses that point.
Yeah. But also, like, this is now, the movie has been like playing basically a Halloween theme ripoff over this. That's actually not half bad. It's the same sort of 5/4 time signature thing that like Halloween does.
It doesn't work the same way, but it is the one moment where I was just like, okay, you're doing a thing.
Yeah, because like, I mean, honestly, like the music coincides. The things are kind of getting a little tense, but
anything is better than the music from Full House.
Yep. So now it's time for a payoff to Chekhov's tray elevator because
My note actually says, "Oh my God, it was Chekhov's lunch tray conveyor."
Yep. So now he's chasing Courtney around because she goes and she finds Radish's body, and she runs across the quad, ends up in the kitchen, and she manages to sort of like give the killer the slip and ends up down basically in the dish pit. And what you see is his feet,
because she finds the killer, and the big reveal is that the killer is nobody.
He's just some dude.
Now, look, I think that the killer being nobody is a thing that can work really, really well. But you have to give us a little bit more than that.
There's, I mean, you can if it's perfectly random and he's just a nobody, that can work if the rest of the movie is kind of pulling to give that meaning.
Right. Because the whole point of Michael Myers' character is the reason he's called the Shape is because he is nobody.
Yeah.
He is
like
he is a menace that has nothing.
The mask is a white featureless face for a fucking reason.
Same thing in Black Christmas. You have no idea who
That's
the killer is,
right.
and it doesn't matter.
That's right.
It never matters who it is.
Yeah, you see his eyeball. You never see his face. His identity is,
and that's why he's creepy and frightening, because he is nothing.
Yeah.
He could be anything.
So there you go. Two examples where the anonymous, identityless killer works. Does not happen
because
here.
Those movies are made by talented people.
Yeah. But so the killer like rides the tray elevator down, because you see his like you don't see the rest of his body. You see his like feet and his legs on it, and then he takes a step forward, and the camera cuts away, obviously, because here's the thing: the little hole that the trays come out of is like 12 feet by 12 feet. Somehow, somehow this guy squeezes his fucking ass through this thing in order to resume the chase. And so at one point, she sort of gives him the slip and gets
because he's stuck in the conveyor belt.
So she sneaks up behind him and like hits him with a ladle or something and throws him into a walk-in freezer and locks the door behind him. And then as she sort of slowly walks away from him, he comes bursting out of another door, like halfway down the hallway, like it's a hallway chase scene from fucking Scooby-Doo or something. And so he chases her into that sort of condemned area from beginning.
And again, we're back at a Gothic.
Why
do they have crumbling buildings?
This building.
This is like a clock tower from the 18th century.
Yeah, this building is perilous. And so he chases her all the way up to the top of the thing, and he's got her. And this is where, I have the note. I thought it was the sheriff. It's not the sheriff. It's the fucking coach. And he shows up. Now this explains why he has a bow and arrow and he's not a gun if he's not the sheriff. He shows up with a bow and arrow. And
because he and the guy are supposed to go hunting.
And he comes into she's screaming out the window for him to come and help her, and he does. He comes running in, and he goes up a couple.
Yeah, but at no point does this guy ever move with any sense of urgency.
Nope. He's just keeping a medium pace, and he comes in and he takes aim with the arrow at the killer, who's just fully revealed now. Like we said, some dude, and he's like, "I'm gonna hang your head on my wall," which is kind of a hell of a threat. And he fires the arrow at him. And at the killer, and you have to take these making of stories with a bit of a grain of salt. But so the story goes, this arrow catch was real. where the guy playing the killer was like some sort of a martial artist or something like that, and the arrow catch was like a trick that he did at like exhibitions and shit. So that was.
All right, well, it is swift and
I watched it a couple of times, and he definitely grabs a flying arrow. And so he turns and he runs down and he kills the coach. Thank God, with the arrow that he just fired at him. And of course, the coach collapses. But this gives Courtney a chance. He comes basically stalking back at Courtney. She grabs like a loose board or something and hits the killer, which knocks the knife out of his hand for what is the longest tracking shot of the knife falling.
Yeah, no, this whole scene, his whole death scene is the most protracted death scene I've ever seen in any
I counted the shots. There are 6 cuts as the knife falls and hits the floor. There's 6.
Alfred Hitchcock made an entire movie out of 6 shots. They made a 10-minute death scene.
Yep. And so she hits him. He gets his. So again, Chekhov's perilous condemned building. Like he gets his leg. His leg falls through one of these broken boards, and it gives her enough time to just beat the fuck out of him. And he sort of like tries to climb out onto like a scaffolding, and he ends up falling. And again, longest tracking shot of the killer falling. I counted it, 5 fucking cuts of him before he hits the bottom.
I think they got to that scene and they were like, well, we still have 112 feet of film.
Let's use
what do we do?
We paid for it. We might as well use it. So she, relieve, the kind of music of relief comes as she walks down to the bottom. And we get the requisite killer's second chance where he grabs her leg and she grabs the knife. And we don't actually see her stab him, but we see her stabbing a lot. This is a brutal.
Yeah, she stabs the shit out.
Brutal death scene and there's something so primal about the way she's doing it. Yeah. She must have been like sore from stabbing him. And somehow the MPAA took umbrage with this scene and gave the movie, based on this scene alone, gave the movie an X rating. So if this is even true, which I don't know. It sounds very far-fetched.
The MPAA doesn't give a shit about this movie.
It makes me think that the MPAA just had it out for slasher movies, which they did. Like there's a lot of there's a lot of movies that like since then have been restored to like director's cuts on DVD and Blu-ray, and they are remarkably more violent than the ones that ran theatrically.
I mean, Friday 2 is shocking.
Yeah. But like just even without because without this particular scene, this is a very, very tame 80s slasher. But apparently she stabbed him 18 times in the original cut, and they cut it down to 12 and managed to slide past with an R rating. So the killer is definitively dead after being like gouged with this fucking gigantic knife, and she goes in the credits roll. And I hope that everybody named in this credits list lives with a terrible shame for making this movie.
They all pretend they had.
I wasn't there. Yep. The end. No explanation offered. No identity of the killer is revealed. Even the laziest slasher movie cash-ins give you something to work with. This one doesn't even bother. So.
Yeah, this movie is utter garbage, except for
Radish.
It is worth watching because
of Radish.
Because it is so weird.
Because of Radish, you should watch this movie. Otherwise, man, there's got to be something else that you got to watch. Even if you've watched everything else on Shudder, watch something else. Watch The Final Terror. That's on Shudder. It's great. Final Exam. I don't think so.
Well, that was movie 1 of our
School's Out
theme month.
Yep.
Our School's Out theme month.
It continues next week with what?
With a criminally underrated and overlooked picture that I love that is called House on Sorority.
All right, this is going to be interesting because I have never seen this one.
I fucking love this movie, and it is not at all what you think it is.
Yeah.
Because the poster art and the cover art really did this movie dirty.
All right.
Because it is not what you think.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see you back here in 2 weeks for the House on Sorority Row.